Very nice evening to all of you HLA fans. This is we welcome you on to this broadcast of the Hoops League Association on Hoops League TV. I'm Commissioner Cyclops Zing, and I'm joined in the booth this time by Assassin, longtime community member, Commissioner of the NOH, and General HL Extraordinaire, and Salty Shades, who we've heard from before, otherwise known as Caleb White, on the Atlanta Activists. As we take a look here at an interesting matchup between two up-and-coming teams, the DC Brigade in the East and the Houston Cosmos of the West for our primetime action here. Well, it might have been better to have this game a couple weeks or games ago, per se, given that DC's on a 3-game losing streak and Houston, after starting the season 3-0, has gone 1-6. But this is still pretty interesting matchup between two very young, entertaining teams. Assassin, if I had to ask you, if you had to pick one, who would you rather be in terms of future and present outlook, DC or Houston?
Well, I think we're at a point where the Eastern Conference, you're seeing some of the top dogs start to fall a little bit. And, I like Garza, Hayes, a good paint presence. And if Arlo Joe, it's a short sample size, but if this young man can continue to thrive, I would have to say the DC has a good future ahead of them.
They certainly do. On the note of Arlo Joe, these numbers, you can't even describe them. Have to say them out loud, and even then they don't sound real. Through 9 games of action, 20.6 points per game, 61.8 field goal percentage, 59% from three-point range. Unbelievable. Plus 3.7 rebounds, 1.9 assists. Salty, you played against him in college. Did you expect this from Arlo Joe?
While I kind of did expect him to perform well in the big leagues. I didn't expect really this. I remember that one time we had to play each other. I got my ass whooped, and I was heated in that locker room. I was mad. I was yelling at teammates. It was frustrating to guard him, and while I'm still mad about it, I'm just happy he's doing it in the big leagues.
He has been frustrating defenses so far to start his career, but he won't be frustrating Houston's tonight, as he's actually out for one game with a finger injury. No long-term damage reported, but that means longtime Houston star Alex Sinclair, 6-time all-defensive player, will be starting in his place. The all-time steals leader, Assassin. As you've been watching the game for years, how much of an impact do you think Alex Sinclair could have on this game, especially given that he's guarding Houston's superstar, Sham Morant?
Well, I'd be lying to say that Alex Sinclair doesn't have to be the X factor. Look, DC's missing their best shooter, as we just talked about. Arlo Joe is out. So you're going to need to play this game in the paint, and that means Garza and Hayes are going to have to dominate down there. But the only way to beat a team that's efficient and effective in the paint is through the three-point line, and that means Sham Morant is one of the best at attacking from the perimeter. St. Clair's going to have to lock him down for DC to have a chance. If Sham Morant can do whatever he wants, it's going to be a long night.
Certainly would be. How can we forget Morant actually set the all-time scoring record and three-point record in a game earlier this year in a dominant opening night victory for the Cosmos. So take a look at the starting lineups. Before we get started here, the DC Brigade rollout. Dizzy Michaels, last year's most improved player, next to Alex Sinclair, as we already discussed, at the one of the two. Adrian Russell and Alex Garza, the defensive forward combo, though Garza with 15.5 points per game is DC's leading scorer for the night, heading into the night. And it's Melo Hayes as the man in the middle. And for Houston, it's Casey Cunningham, the longtime Miami Tide guard acquired by the Cosmos in the offseason. He starts next to Sham Morant. Low Bot is the 3 with John Poland at the 4, and it's Papa John, last year's Rookie of the Year, at the 5 position. As we get going here, DC and Houston meeting in a marquee matchup of the future, perhaps. It's Houston off the tip, and Pop John unable to convert on that short jumper. Dizzy Michaels taking it the other way. He will knock down the mid-range. Cunningham, also a mid-range threat always was with Miami, averaging 10.4 assists per game on the year so far. Kicks it back out to Low Bot, who will give him his first assist of the game. Hits the up top three-pointer. Garza at the other end, no good, and Papa John on the glass. Morant to Low Bot, tries another three, got it again. So 6 quick points from Low Bot, and that could be a problem for Houston Assassin if they can't, or DC, excuse me, if they can't hit the three, as you discussed.
Well, we talked a little bit about the perimeter heading into this game as Poland misses that one down low, but I failed to mention that Morant's not the only shooter on this team. Low Bot certainly capable of hitting threes, as we've seen him do early, as Poland will throw that one down for the Cosmos.
DC will need some three-point production from Alex Garza, perhaps, who has the ball here. Attacking the mid-range, got a good matchup with Morant, but he can't hit the jumper. Hayes on the rebound, he can't hit the dunk. Wow. So two pretty easy shots.
From DC. Very poor offensive possession from DC. You have to attack the paint, and you have to convert every time to be the team that can shoot like this. Garza, great get back with the dunk there.
I guess he heard you. 8-10 through about a minute and 30 seconds. DC trailing Houston here. Poland tries to pull up from a deep two, not his shot, and Garza did a good job to force him into that one. He grabs the rebound. Michaels over Bot, got that one to go again, so we're even at 10 apiece. There's Shan Morant hitting his first three of the game. Stepped up on Sinclair and made it look like it was nothing. Meanwhile, Garza up to 8 points already on 4 of 6. Not fazed by John Poland on that end. Low Bot, another three. That time, no. Rebound goes to Melo Hayes. And Garza will pull up again over John Poland and knock it down, give DC their first lead of the game at 14-13. Cunningham alley-oop, Poland the finish. So both teams doing pretty well inside the line right now as Garza hits another one. He's got 12 of DC's 16 points so far. Papa John attacking the rim. He'll throw that one down. 17-16 as the lead goes back and forth. Now 18-17 as Melo Hayes gets on the board for the first time today. John the mid-range, got it. 6 points, 2 rebounds from him so far. As we reach about the halfway point in this first half, Bot getting a block on Dizzy Michaels. Impressive defense, and he can't hit the three at the other end as Russell responds with a block of his own. Dizzy Michaels.
What we're seeing is two teams that are not afraid to play their offense, and they're just taking the shots that they want to take. You have to respect it, and if it's going to work for both teams, then you're just going to have to ask the defenses to step up. Garza mid-range can't get that one to fall.
Indeed, the defense is seeming to step up here as 3 consecutive misses on both ends. Low Bot now 2 of 5 from three-point range, gets himself going and knocks that one down from the corner. DC will call time. So, Salty, we see Samuel Pacheco coming in at the center here for DC as he guards Papa John. You think he can make a defensive difference?
Oh, absolutely. That man was also a defensive monster to go up against. He would swat every shot I would try against him. He is definitely a threat towards Papa John.
Sergio Kitchens did not see the threat there, and now actually Pacheco gets a turnover. There's Pacheco with a block at the other end. Sounds like you were right about that one as he gets his first swat of the game. Howard, unable to hit that mid-range. Papa John at the other end knocks down his, and Houston stretches the lead to 6. That's their largest of the game so far, but here's Nathan Mayhem attacking the wreck. That's DC's 4th dunk attempt and 3rd make of the game. They are getting to the rim easily early here. Houston is still up by 6, though. Mayhem from the wing gets that one to go.
It was what I mentioned pregame, is that they're going to have to attack the paint missing Arlo Joe, but Houston's three-point shooting, maybe Morant not getting going, but they're finding other guys to hit those shots, and that's going to be big. If Papa John with a great block there, that's going to be big if Houston can keep hitting from range.
Certainly is. Cunningham driving here. Going to kick this one out to Papa John. Froze the defender there, but John steps inside, takes the 2, and knocks it down. Marcus Howard, another miss there. That's Kenny Bennett on the rebound, Houston's rookie forward, as Pacheco grabs another block there. Here's Nathan Mayhem at the other end. And Mayhem, step back three-pointer. Why not? How about it? Nathan Mayhem, not known for being a shooter, but he's got 7 off the bench.
Great confidence from Mayhem to take that shot. Sinclair with a steal on Morant. They're going to need more of that.
Michaels able to hit that mid-range, cuts the lead down to just 1. 25 seconds here in the first half as Cunningham, good step back move, can't hit the open mid-range jumper. That was a shot in his first miss on the day. DC taking it the other way, chance to take the lead, they cannot. It is Adrian Russell missing that mid-range as Donovan Lewis gets the rebound, and Cunningham finally gets one to go there. Russell with 6 in the half. Puts that one up, no good. Rebound went to Lewis again. And this is Morant, mid-range at the horn. He got it. 34-29. It'll be then at the half. Houston leading DC. Both teams shooting over 56% from the field. But Houston with the advantage from beyond the arc, of course, having hit 4 to DC's 1. Salty, anything jump out to you from this box score?
Well, I have to mention that Houston has definitely looked like they've been playing the better offense. They've had more rebounds, they have more assists, they're shooting more efficiently, taking more downtown shots, and hit more downtown shots. I'm not counting DC's one attempt at 100%. We all know that was just not it. But Houston definitely looks like they want the game. Well, yeah.
Assassin.
Well,
Yeah, you're just going to ask for your
jump
thoughts.
in here, and I'll say that this game is going about how I expected. You know, we're seeing DC attack the paint, which without Arlo Joe is certainly their only option. You want Garza and Hayes, which Hayes hasn't gotten going as much as I would have liked to see, but you have Garza playing well. The difference is simply the 3-point shooting. If a team can take and make threes like Houston's doing, where Sham Morant, yes, he has that one, but you've seen Lobot specifically get his 3-pointer going. If he can be the threat, then it takes a lot of pressure off Morant. And with Sinclair, who is a all-time defender matched up against Morant, if you can win without needing Morant to go for those big performances, it puts DC in a really bad position.
Certainly does. DC actually only down 5, though. And that's partially because of the efforts of, as we'll see here in a minute, Alex Garza, who has just been incredible. Put up a solid 12 points on 6 of 9 in that first half. Put up 2 rebounds as well. And he was playing good defense at the other end, forced John Poland into some uncomfortable shots.
Well, Alex Garza is playing fantastic, and he's one of the bright spots on this DC team. Certainly a guy who's you're going to want to follow their career for the future. Dizzy Michaels also hit some mid-range jumpers, so you got to be happy with some guys' effort. If I was DC, though, I would be looking to get Melo Hayes a little bit more involved and really start to expand that attack down low.
Hayes had only 4 rebounds in that first half, which matched up with Papa John. But John had 12 points to Hayes' 2. Salty, from Houston, who do you think is the X factor for this second half?
Well, we do have to mention that Papa John, he's already won Rookie of the Year, and I definitely think like he will be one of the franchise players aside from Sham Morant for the younger Houston squad. He's got 12 points on 6 of 10 shooting, 4 rebounds, and a steal and a block, combining both offense and defense. He's definitely got everything you really need into a younger piece of a player.
I'll look for him to have a big second half here as Houston tries to put this one away and snap their skid as they've lost a couple here. DC starting back up with the ball. Garza got blocked, grabbed his own rebound, and put it back up and in. This is Casey Cunningham for Houston. And he gives it off to Sham Morant, who only had 5 points in that first half, but didn't miss a shot. And he won't miss this one either. Beautiful step back to get separation, and he's up to 7 on the day. Garza, meanwhile, up to 16. He's already got 4 quick points in this half. Cunningham driving here on Hayes. Gonna give the kick out here to John, who got frozen up, but stepped inside the line, took a tough shot. Ill-advised attempt there, and it goes off the caroms off the rim. As Garza now another one, and it is a 1-point game. Alex Garza taking over here.
I have to just say I am very Sham Morant, a deep 2-pointer, get down to fall, but I'm very impressed with Garza. He's clearly playing aggressive and not letting up.
Perhaps a little too aggressive there as Poland pokes the ball free, but Houston can't capitalize on the opportunity, and it's Garza again, 20 points for him. He is scoring over half of DC's points on the day. Morant missed on that one. That's John on the glass. Papa John really sticking it to Melo Hayes today. 14 points and 5 rebounds for the former Rookie of the Year. Izzy Michaels now. Step back, mid-range, no.
This Houston team, they're staying aggressive. Papa John, outside of stepping in for a deep two, I would like to see him take that three if he plays go. But he's certainly giving his best effort out here tonight. Sham Morant's not letting the fact that St. Clair's guarding him get to him either, as Michael misses the mid-range. Hayes putback. Nice to finally see him get going. But we're seeing
Hayes' sixth rebound on the day's second offensive glass. You were saying, though, as Bot hits a three.
We're seeing some of these young guys be aggressive, and that's really what I always think of is you just want your young guys to be aggressive and not feel like they have to be their best every night. You just got to play the game, and these guys are playing it the right way, just playing hard.
John Poland grabbed that offensive rebound, but couldn't put it back up and in. Lots of offensive boards, but not a lot of second chance points in this game, as Sinclair drives here for DC. Almost said Houston, thinking like the old days. Garza finally misses one, and Poland grabs another rebound. Poland already 4 rebounds in this half, and it's almost half gone. Morant on the mid-range knocks that one down. That'll put him into double digits with 11 points. Meanwhile, Hayes up to 6 points on the day. Good fighter by Michaels, who collects his 6th assist. And there's Alex Sinclair's signature steal. That's his 2nd on the day. We're halfway through the second half. Michaels to take the lead? No. Morant on the glass.
I'd have to say that's an ill-advised shot there.
Step back did not go. Russell got a steal, and at the other end, Michaels on the alley-oop to guess who? Alex Garza, 22 points from him. We are tied. Morant at the other end tries to give Houston the lead back. He gives it off to Poland, who does just that. 6 points, 5 rebounds from the former New York Empire forward. And this is Garza in the mid-range once again as we dip under 2 minutes. Going for the tie, and he'll knock it in. 24 from Alex Garza as Houston calls time.
Just can't stress enough how important Alex Garza being aggressive is for this DC team's long term.
Absolutely, and they're trading steals right now. Sinclair just grabbed his 4th off of Morant, and now Garza able to give DC a lead with 1:37 to go here. Cunningham, step back 3-pointer. Oh, he got it. How about that from Casey Cunningham? Houston back up. And Hayes able to put that one in as we're trading the leads once again. This is Cunningham on the alley-oop and John Poland on the finish. Poland has played very well in this second half, but so is Melo Hayes, who puts in that one. He's into double digits now. 10.6 rebounds from him. Garza block. He can do it at both ends, and can he do it at the offensive end? He cannot. Rebound there goes to Papa John after the missed mid-range J. Now, and they might look for that Papa John deep 2 again here. And that is what they do. John, again, not able to hit. He has struggled farther away from the rim today. And he struggles on the defensive end there. As DC puts that one in. Now a 3-point lead. Garza, another steal. That's up to 5 on the day. We'll take a break here for a second. DC up 3, 53 to go, and they have the ball as they call timeout. Salty, under a minute here. Who do you want the ball? Who do you want the ball with if you're DC and if you're Houston?
I would want to put the ball into the hands of Alex Garza. He has made up for Arlo Joe being out. He's scoring about 25 points for the team. He's put him on the back, and he has looked to continue doing that. As for Houston, I would rather go for Lobot or Shamaran. Although I would prefer Lobot because Sham has been getting harassed by Alex Sinclair, who has 5 steals right now. Lobot hasn't really been getting the touches he needs. We already seen he could shoot it during our first quarter. But I really think if they go back to him, they can really take the lead and go up.
Bot had 6 points in the opening 20 seconds of the game. Since then, just 3 points. Assassin on the flip side. Defensively, who's got to step up for DC? Who's got to step up for Houston?
Well, who's already stepped up for DC? Alex St. Clair, man. You can't give him enough credit for this lead that they have. Yes, Alex Garza and Melo Hayes love to see that they are attacking the rim, and Melo Hayes clearly hurt us at the half. But St. Clair has already stepped up. He's taken care of Sham Morant. He said, "I see your confidence, Mr. Morant, but I'm gonna have to take that from you tonight." And he's done just that for Houston. You gotta defend down low. It's got to be on Papa John and John Poland. Those are the guys who are killing you, Melo Hayes and Alex Garza. So you're gonna have to lock up that paint, because if they keep scoring from there, well, you're not winning this game.
Certainly not. We'll see how this final minute pans out. 3-point lead, 53 seconds on the clock. And DC gets it out to guess who? Melo Hayes, who attacks the rim. Two easy lanes in the bucket there. 14.7 rebounds for him. And DC's lead is at its largest with 5 seconds left. Oh, Poland shanks the open shot there. Casey Cunningham dimed him up. And at the other end, Hayes stretches the lead to 7 for DC. Boy, this game has turned around in a hurry. And Morant able to hit on that mid-range J, as DC will take a timeout. Garza at the other end, it's good. 30 seconds left, 7-point DC advantage. Cunningham, and they need a big shot here. Took the tough one and knocked it down in Sinclair's face. Casey Cunningham, the vet, stepping up. Oh, and Hayes missed the shot there. 61-56, 19 seconds to go. Morant step back three, no. And so DC should be able to run this one out for the most part, as Garza, who has just been excellent today, it's a dunk, and Houston will call time. Wow. So 8 seconds left, no timeouts, Houston basketball. Wow. First of all, the DC did not put this game away, but Assassin, if you're Houston, what are you drawing up in the huddle here?
Well, you got to get Sham Morant open for a three, or at least that's what I would let DC think. Personally, I want something open for Lobot. I want him to take this three-pointer look. Sham Morant, he's a great player, but today Alex St. Clair has had his number. I believe it's 5 turnovers on the night for him. That just won't do, and you got to get it to a guy who can shoot the ball. Obviously, I feel like you need a 3 here, so I would go to Lobot somewhere in the corner.
And just 11 points from Sham Morant, a guy who's averaging 20.6 heading into this game. We'll see what they come up with out of timeout here. 8 seconds to go. And it is Morant on a 3. He cans it! How about that? Sham Morant knocks it down. 2-point game, 6 seconds to go.
Huge credit to Morant. Big moment, big time shot. That's a big time player, young fella.
He gets that one up to 16 points on the day. 6 seconds to go. This is Garza, and he lost the ball!
Oh.
He lost the ball! Poland! Cunningham!
Oh!
And that is going to do it very nearly. One of the great endings we've seen this year. May still be, but Casey Cunningham could not hit the deep 3 for the win, and DC is going to escape Houston with this one. 61-59, our final tally, as Houston comes out on the short end of the stick despite a furious last-second rally.
Well, Cyclops, I'll tell you one thing. DC's end of game, that is just a young team being young, man. Some missed put away opportunities. Alex Garza had a great night. You can't miss that dunk. Don't even go for the showboating. Just lay it up if you have to. Just some rookie mistakes down there. But Alex Garza, big credit to him. Big credit to Melo Hayes, who stepped up in the second half. But also, very importantly, big credit to the veteran, Alex St. Clair. 5 steals tonight. Big in DC's win. For Houston, man, Sham Morant had a tough game, but for him to show up in the clutch just shows the type of player that he can be, and he really is. So, it's going to be a tough one to walk out of this arena with, but, you got to keep your head high if you're Sham Morant.
Absolutely. So to still put up 16 points, on 7 to 10 shooting against one of the great defenders of our time, but just couldn't come out with the victory. Those 5 turnovers did hurt them. Neither of these teams probably going to end up in the championship, but boy, this was an entertaining one to watch, especially because of what you mentioned, Assassin. DC's inability to put this game away. They had the ball up 7, 30 seconds to go, and they still somehow made a game out of it. Salty, was that more, do you think, on DC's youth, or was it Houston showing some grit and maturity? Or maybe a mix of both?
I would have to say it's a mix of both. DC is still one of the younger squads, so they're obviously going to make mistakes. You just can't make those at the end of the game, which could have deeply cost them. But at the same time, Houston also made a mistake. We can't forget John Poling missing a wide open, close shot that would have put them, which would have cut the lead by two. And if that would have connected, we would have been tied. We may be in overtime if John Poland didn't miss that.
Indeed, and of course,
Yeah, that
Case
was a
Cunningham couldn't hit that
tough
deep three
mistake
either.
from Poland.
Yeah, that one
Well,
certainly
it's a
hurt for
deep
Houston
story.
fans.
Not one you can expect Cunningham to make on a daily basis. You should be able to expect your power forward, though, to hit a point blank range, wide open shot. I agree with Salty there. Has to be a bucket.
Indeed, but also must be said that Poland came up with 3 steals all in that second half, and he played a pretty good game for Houston. Had 8 points, 7 rebounds, 3 steals, and a block, and he got that steal that set up the Cunningham shot in the first place. So, it's a game. It's certainly when we look at this game, two teams who, as I said, not going to end up in the championship, and that definitely showed on the court today. This is neither team played like a championship or maybe even a playoff team in that last minute or so.
Yeah, no, DC. They're still young, but you gotta. I give them credit for this win. I also give them credit for winning without Arlo Joe, who is a phenomenal young man, who they are going to be happy to have back on the court next game. But Alex Garza showing he can be a leading guy. Melo Hayes played well in that second half. So if you can get that core three really developed and looking great, behind Dizzy Michaels at the point guard, I think DC has a good future ahead of him.
They absolutely do. And so we've emphasized, a lot the struggles, but of course, has to be said, Alex Garza just had a tremendous game. 28 points on 14 to 21, plus 5 rebounds. Did have 3 turnovers. Meanwhile, Melo, he's 16 on 8 of 10 shooting, 14 of which came in the second half, plus 8 rebounds. The front court did what the backcourt could not without Arlo Joe today.
Oh, absolutely. I mean, and that's what I called on them to do was DC, you're going to have to trust your paint work, and they did that today.
They certainly did. And Salty, you know a little something about the importance of the paint. What did you like from both sides in the paint today? And what did you see that, rubbed you the wrong way?
I do love to see that they've taken more attempts to drive into the paint, showing old school ball instead of the more modern three pointers. But something I do really want to talk about is how they've sort of missed those shots and how they could have utilized them more. We've seen a couple of missed dunks, which could have made a huge impact. A couple of missed shots could have put them up or down. And something I really wanted to mention that Casey Cunningham could have passed it over to Papa John against Melo Hayes, who had struggled with defensively. If Papa John could have if he would have passed that to Papa John, he would have had a chance to get it up, put it in, and get Houston into overtime.
Certainly something that they'll be talking about in the locker room after this one. So now, with regards to the season at large, we look at DC in this one. They're going to move up to 6-5 on the season after this victory. Houston slips down to 4-7. DC still in the thick of that playoff race in the East. Meanwhile, actually in the West, that is true as well, because currently the fourth place team after this game will be Vancouver at 4-6. Arizona 5-5 in third place. It's just been San Francisco and LA dominating. Assassin, what do we mentioned that we don't think either of these teams are really playoff caliber, but could they make the playoffs? Either of them?
I mean, sure, you could make the playoffs, but I don't really care if you make the playoffs. If you're going up against Chicago or San Francisco or Los Angeles in the first round, you can kiss your ass goodbye in that first round. So, they could make it, but at this point, for me, my focus would be, as a coach and as an organization, would be getting Alex Garza like he had today, the ability to kind of have those showouts. Him and Melo Hayes, Papa John got himself the ball, and just getting these young guys the confidence, getting them acquainted with being in the big moments. I would say it'd be better for them to make the playoffs. Obviously, you can talk about, oh, well, maybe the draft lottery would be better off for them. I always think that experience matters. And if they get the chance to go up against some great players in San Fran or Los Angeles or St. Louis or Chicago, why not give them that opportunity?
Experience really does make a big difference. A lot of great teams in this league have won championships after losing it multiple times, even in the playoffs before. We look at the Miami Tides, who won last year, had to go to the finals and lose, really blow a 2-0 lead in the series, as a matter of fact, to LA before they could get their title.
Well, Cyclops, I have to say, if there's one team I'd like to see them maybe learn their lesson already, it'd be San Francisco, but that's a topic for another day.
Absolutely. So, in that regard, looking at DC, definitely on the experience side, Alex Sinclair, we talked about him plenty today. That signing that they made this season, this past offseason, 3 years, $23.1 million. A lot of money to shell out to a guy who really is not going to give you anything offensively, and is borderline unplayable because of that sometimes. But man, did he show up today, and the experience may have won DC the game.
Salty, you want to take this one? Or
Yeah. Trying to see what Salty, one of the rookies, might got to say about experience. As a 25-year-old rookie, too.
I do enjoy about having a veteran presence onto the team, like Alex Sinclair. Although I am one of the older guys who I actually am older than Dark Joel, actually, which is very weird to say. But you gotta love having a veteran there to help you teach and give you those pointers, which definitely helps you out with your game. It can ultimately help you improve.
We'll see. That was part of the thinking for Houston, too, when they traded for Casey Cunningham, who did have a good game in this one as well. We'll see if that experience will help them snap out of this one as Houston falls to 4-7. Now they've lost 7 of 8 since starting 3-0. Meanwhile, DC up to 6-5. They snap a 3-game skid and continue their pursuit of those Eastern Conference playoff spots. So that's going to conclude our broadcast here. Thank you so much for joining. We'll have a full slate of HOA games coming up tomorrow for you. Some more Hoopland action later in the week, perhaps. And, best of all, next week we'll have the St. Louis Archers taking on the Portland Roses in a Sunday night showcase. Lots to look forward to on HLTV, but that's going to end up for tonight. Thank you so much for joining us, and we hope you enjoyed. From Houston, for Assassin, for Salty, for Jay LeBron, for the creator of the game, Quality, and for all of us involved in the HLA, this is Cyclops Inc. wishing you a wonderful evening, and we'll see you next week.